Welcome to Hot Takes Cool Updates, the podcast where two friends from high school reunite and discuss trivial opinions that people, for some reason, feel strongly about. And we update each other along the way. I'm Lacey.
And I'm Jenna, and welcome to today's episode. So on today's episode, we're going to be doing a top 5 challenge. And so what we are hoping to do is rank or make this a series where, not a regular series, but occasionally where we rank our top 5 in a particular category. And the category will change every time. And it's going to be something that we decided ahead of time as well. So again, this is going to be a semi-regular series whenever we just see it fit. And today, our topic is going to be the top 5 cryptids would let mess us up.
Up, yo.
So,
and you can translate that however you want to. Wink.
Yeah, because I honestly thought that we were going to interpret this differently, because I was thinking you were gonna have more of a mess you up romantically.
It kind of started off like that, and then the more I looked into it, I was like, no, I mean mess me up, like pow pow.
Yeah, because I really thought, like, when we first discussed this topic, I thought, I was like, oh my gosh, what if I take it, this is going to showcase our personalities, where I take it as mess me up as in fight me, and then you're going to take it mess me up like in the opposite direction.
I very much originally meant romantically, but then I was like, I kind of want this to be like a family-friendly podcast, and that's probably not going to fly. So I just changed it up significantly.
Yeah, so family-friendly does not mean romantic to us. It means would rather get in a fight. So apparently that's family-friendly content to us.
Touche.
Yeah, so apparently this is PG-13. So
PG-13, yes, absolutely. 12-year-olds, cover your ears.
Yeah. So, and just to clarify for what we had to discuss this ahead of time. So none of us know what our top 5 is at this point. It's going to be news to each other where our top 5 is. However, we did define what cryptids were to each other, just to be clear on what our list could contain. So we decided that cryptids did not mean mythological, but cryptids were animals that people claim to exist, but these animals could not been proven yet yes. In the scientific field. So that's a big yet, but we will see. But we both have made our list ahead of time, and we'll reveal it to each other as we go along here. So,
absolutely.
Okay, we didn't discuss either what order we wanted to go in. Do we want to go from bottom to top, like start at number 5?
5 to 1, baby. 5 to 1.
So number 5 is going to be, our top 5 list, who would let it do or the cryptid that we still let mess us up, but at the bottom of our list, and our number 1 is going to be the number 1 cryptid would like to just.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That is, yes. All right. So for my number 5, I chose the cactus cat. Have you heard of the cactus cat before? I'm not sure.
No, please indulge me.
Well, first, I think that it's important for our listeners to realize that I, Lacey, am a big cat fan. If you are watching us via YouTube, you probably saw my cat walk by a couple times, so you will know that they are a fan of me as well. So for number 5, I definitely chose the cactus cat, and that is absolutely a fearsome critter that's been reported in the American Southwest. It is described as like a bobcat kind of like animal with like thorn-like fur and like sharp bones protruding from its front legs and branched tail. And I just really like this baby because like basically all it does from like what I've been reading is it like kind of goes out at night, it like drinks some cactus juice and gets like totally sloshed and then just yowls throughout the night. And I'm like, you know what? That's a vibe.
So you're telling me that cactus juice is this like Cryptid's kryptonite. Like it's kind of like it gets it
Absolutely.
drunk.
Yes.
So that's interesting. Okay, how does it get through to the cactus though? Like it must be like
It's
pretty nimble.
like,
Yeah, so it chews it chews
yeah.
through the prick. What do you call that? The pricks or whatever of the
Yeah, it's a
cactus, and it's
cactus
fine.
cat, man. Like it doesn't bother it at all. It's made of a cactus, so it's like this is nothing to me.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Oh
huh?
yeah, it's a good time.
So yeah, totally not affected. So it's almost like in my mind, I'm picturing almost like a like not a almost like a skeletal or almost like a like not a reptilian. Yeah, like a reptilian kind of dry bones, a little bit sort of cat, but cactus like. Is that
It's definitely it's kind of like a bobcat like
so for our audio listeners, this is really looking almost kind of cute because they have some cute pictures up where it looks like a little angry cat in a little pot of dirt, and it's green. Well, in a lot of the pictures, it has a green like color to it. Really odd.
Yeah, it legitimately looks like a cactus cat. Like the name couldn't be more clear.
Yeah, it's like a tabby cat but green with instead it looks like a cat that was electrified, with the little bushels on it.
Yeah.
And it's like the little cactus pricks or whatever you call it on the tail and on top of the head. So
it's very cute and it's a good way to go, like I'm okay with it. I'm okay with a drunk cat like just being like, no, meow. I'm like, all right.
Get it? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, imagine him like getting super mad and whacking people with his cactus tail. I think I would like to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an absolute mood.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and give my number 5. Insert dramatic music here. Dun, dun, dun. So my number 5, which I don't think is going to be a popular one either. It's the Loveland frog.
Ooh.
Which I gotta say, Midwest Rise Up. This is based out of Loveland, Ohio. Okay.
Okay. So, I thought it sounded familiar.
So yeah. So Ohio, not okay. The people are not okay there. All right. So so the Loveland frog, it's said to be a 4-foot tall frog allegedly spotted in Loveland, Ohio. Okay. That originally a police officer reported that he gunned down this frog in the 70s. So, which I think is
that's so bad. Dude.
Yeah, so I think this gives us some credit because a police officer reported it, in but it was the 70s, so I know they all had like probably like drunk or something or high. I don't know what they're doing in the 70s, but I don't know. I feel like it gave it some sort of legitimacy that a police officer reported it. But Ohio doesn't have a lot going for it, so I'll give it this: that I would like to fight a 4-foot frog. So
absolutely.
So I just thought that while it's not the image of a 4-foot frog is not that scary. I think if you did see a 4-foot frog in real life, I think it would be a little.
And y'all, I just want you to know that like I've been looking at pictures, and I don't think that this is share screen worthy since we're trying to keep it PG-13, but this frog is dummy thick. Like that's all I'm gonna say. Enjoy the photos as you look it up, because that is quite.
Yeah, there's a couple pictures where he's ripped.
I'm like, oh man, okay.
Yeah,
frog's getting it in.
Yeah, there's even some pictures of it for our visual for our audio listeners. There's some pictures of, I guess this should be a quote unquote I don't know, real picture of it because it's posted like to Fox News and stuff. There's a picture of a really blurry shape. There's a picture of a really blurry shape with like the cat eyes like shining against it in the water, and I guess somebody might have posted that or sent that into the news, but it's really not. It looks like a just the shape of a something greenish in the water. I don't think it's a real 4-foot frog, but the artistic liberties of some of the Google images are very nice. So
Yeah, you just look up Loveland Frogman drawing and you'll have a great time. So
yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, yeah, there's one artstation.com. He's got a 6-pack and some like big old packs. I don't know what's going on there.
I'd understand why you'd want him to mess you up. I get that.
Yeah, this is well, I would get in a fight with them because I think this is the only one on my list that I could actually fight and win against. So I think that's why it's my number 5. My other 4, I don't think I could win against. But I think this one I have a chance.
Gotcha. Well, that takes us to our number 4. Our number 4, I'm not going to get like too much into detail because everyone should know it. It is the Kraken.
Dun, dun. Yeah.
Something about those tentacles, baby. No, I'm just messing. I picked the Kraken because I would like a quick death. And the Kraken's gonna give me that, like just one pool under. Like, sure, it's gonna be terrifying, but it's also, it's gonna be pretty cute too. Because like a Kraken, just give it in for a hug, and like I die from the hug, but it's a that's okay with me because it's quick. It's quick, and I'm okay with that.
I totally get that. And I will say, somewhat spoiler alert, I don't have anything that's underwater on my list. They're all land animals. And which is kind of funny because I think the creepiest thing to me is the sea in the ocean. I think there's so much of it we don't know. It's terrifying, and the open sea is terrifying to me. And so I will say, I even wrote down in my notes, honorable mention, Loch Ness Monster, Miss Nessie. That's my honorable mention of my top 5 that I didn't include. I think she's too sweet to get in a fight with, but if she came running, charging at me, that was my honorable mention there.
That might be later down on my list.
Sorry, I just gave it. I just ruined it, but I will say, yeah. Okay, I messed it up, but let's move on to my number 4. My number 4 is Chupacabra.
Absolutely.
Which I
that was my honorable mention. Well done.
That's awesome. So it always makes me want to say Chupacabra because I always want to say that. I feel like we got to include a holler to, or holler, what is it millennial me, but holler back to millennial vocabulary there. Holla back to Taco Bell.
Holla back, yo.
Yeah.
But I feel like
there we go. Shout out. Okay, that's the word. That's the new cool word. I always want to shout out Taco Bell on every episode at some point. I think that might be my goal. So
we are not sponsored by Taco Bell. Please don't come for us. We just like you a lot.
Yeah. So I think the very first sponsor, we're never going to take in I tell you right now, here's my goal. We're never going to take a sponsor until Taco Bell sponsors us. So it may be years down the road and we never.
She doesn't mean that. Please take us. We like money.
Somebody sponsor us, but hopefully Taco Bell first, okay? So
or if you sponsor us, like maybe part of the sponsorship is getting us Taco Bell, which is also acceptable.
Yeah. So maybe, yeah. Or we should set up like a Taco Bell fund where it's like send us a taco or something, or send us a Baja Blast. What we should have, what is it, the Hank Hill sound that he's like Baja Blast, whatever. Blast.
Oh my gosh.
I need that. I need that to be like my honorable sound.
I love that. Also, now I'm just imagining like a Chupacabra like chowing on some Taco Bell, and that makes me want to fight him too. Like, let's go, buddy.
Yeah, maybe that its kryptonite is a chalupa, and maybe it's
Chupacabra. We'll rename it after.
I know, just maybe keep a chalupa in your pocket just in case you encounter it. But really, I think the reason why I'm kind of creeped out by it is that it's known for drinking blood. It's a kind of vampire ish. So at least that's what I read. I don't know. if I find the chalupa, if I find the chupacabra, I mean, I can't even have it.
It's like Benedict Cumberbatch's name. Like if I say Benadryl, like cucumber patch, everyone knows what I'm talking about. So like,
yeah,
we're good. Just keep messing it up. It's just a thing now.
yeah. And eventually, once I get old, I'm not going to know the difference between like not know that I'm wrong, in pronouncing. So, it's fine. Chupacabra. Okay, that's my number 4. I'll stop.
So for number 3, I took a "what cryptid are you" test. Just because I was like, I'm curious, and that's how I got my number 3. And I'm going to absolutely butcher this pronunciation because I had never heard of it before. But I was like, this is pretty cool. I kind of want to know. So it is called bunyip. Bunyip, bunyip, and it's a creature from the Aboriginal mythology of like southeastern Australia, said to like lurk in swamps, billabogs, creeks, riverbeds, and waterholes. So I'm kind of have like a water theme over here.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's basically like just an entirely aquatic, like in lakes, rivers, swamps, lagoons. I can't even start to describe what this thing looks like.
I just looked it up. Can I try to attempt a description?
Absolutely, because this thing is crazy.
So if anyone remembers, the one picture I'm looking at reminds me of the movie The Never Ending Story. Did you watch that with the really huge white flying animal, whatever it was called? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that huge furry white animal, except it's brown. Like imagine that if that was mixed with Yoda. So that white animal from The Never Ending Story mixed with like Yoda, or maybe like a mammoth, a woolly mammoth or something. That's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. So what I'm seeing is that people who have like seen the bunyip, 60% say that it resembles like a seal or swimming dog, and 20% of sightings are of like long-necked creatures with small heads, and the remaining descriptions are like ambiguous beyond like categorization, which is exactly what you see if you Google like the bunyip, which is just again absolutely like crazy looking creature. And the reason that I feel like it, like that was like the creature that I like, oh, it's most like me. First of all, it like eats people, and like I am a fat lady, and that's not a bad thing. Like you can be fat and beautiful. I'm not like saying I'm ugly. I don't think that those things are synonymous, but like I'm a fat lady and I like my food, and like I want to be left alone. Like just leave me to my swamp.
So you're saying like you're Shrek?
I'm basically saying I'm Shrek, but because Shrek isn't like a mythological creature or cryptid, sorry. Yeah. So because Shrek isn't a cryptid, I'm the bunyip.
So this is the closest, yeah.
It's the closest I could find.
The funny thing too, Shrek reminds me, how some people would say like, oh, like what is your like if you had to represent like as a couple, who your celebrity couple is, like, like say you and your spouse or you and your significant other is like, who's your celebrity couple? Who are you the most like? For me and my husband, I feel like it's not like some celebrity couple like The Notebook or something. I feel like there's 2 different options. My husband and I are either Shrek and Donkey, where he's Shrek and I'm Donkey.
That's awesome.
We're Jackie Chan and Chris Rock in Rush Hour, where I'm Chris Tucker. I'm sorry, I think it's Chris Tucker, where I'm Chris Tucker and he's Jackie Chan. Because the opening scene of Jackie Chan refusing to talk to him and refusing to acknowledge that he knows English, and me like yelling at him like, "Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth?" That's the epitome of
beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So if anyone ever wanted to know, like
that's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, I was just kind of like watching Shrek the other day for no reason at all. And I just was like, their exact argument that they have at the end where like Donkey's trying to argue with Shrek to go back after Fiona and go to the church and stop the wedding. I swear that exact argument Donkey and Shrek have is the exact argument that exists in my life every day. So
that's hilarious.
So that's kind of, I was like, I made him watch this. I'm like, look at this, like this is our, like this is us.
This is us 100%. That's funny.
Okay, so oh wait, so that was your number 3, right?
Yes, that was my number 3.
Okay, so my number 3, drum roll please, is Wendigo.
Oh
So,
yeah, baby.
and the reason why I picked this is because I played the game Until Dawn, and it like featured Wendigo, and I really, when I was playing Until Dawn, I was really obsessed with it, and I just it just really made me get into it. And again, I was kind of like, if for those who don't know what Wendigo are, I'm reading a description off of Cryptid Wiki. So it says Wendigo are, and I quote, a cannibalistic spirit resembling a zombie. In some forms, Wendigo is the size of a human, while in others is 15 feet tall. So it's the earliest description of Wendigo was that was similar appearance to a corpse with skeleton-like thin body, with gray skin, sunken eyes, bloody lips, yellow fangs, and a long slimy tongue. So kind of like zombies, basically. And
Yeah.
It's in some different like folklore. I think some native tribes have mythological stories of Wendigo and everything. But that's my number 3 there.
I need to add something to my number 3. The way that the bunny up kills people is by hugging them, and that was very important to me.
I think that's a very good thing to add.
I'm so sorry. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I forgot to say this. So I didn't mean to like completely ignore your Wendigo statement.
It's okay.
They're honestly terrifying to me. So like, I feel like the less I talk about them, the less that like I'll get messed up by them. They did not make my list. They weren't even close because like I don't ever want to encounter them. No, thank you.
Well, yeah, like I think my list progressively gets a mix of things that like I would be afraid to meet, but at the same time I would be super interested to meet as well. So
Okay.
I'm like a zombie. No, I don't want to meet it, but at the same time, prove zombies are real. Okay, like I think it might. Yeah.
I like the different ways that we approach this because mine are like, I actually like might survive meeting you, but probably not.
Mine's progressively. I'm probably not going to survive to tell the tale of, at least not for Wendigo.
Right. No, definitely not. Definitely not. So my number 2 is what was one of your honorable mentions is the Loch Ness Monster. Again, water theme over here, I guess. And it's very much a like leave me alone. Like I might peek out once in a while to see like what's going on, but like other than that, peace out. I'm basically just trying to leave everyone alone. I don't think that like Nessie would actually hurt anybody, which is one of the reasons she's on like my number 2. Because like Bunny Up, if you see it, it's gonna mess you up. Kraken definitely is messing you up. Cactus Cat, like he's gonna scratch you up really good. But I don't feel like Nessie would mess me up. I feel like she, oh crap, you saw me, and that would be that. So
wait, so I'm confused. So the top in the category is
I know. I let it mess me up to gain its self-esteem. Like, you know, like 'cause I feel like it wouldn't mess me up, but like I want it to mess me up.
Okay.
So that it can be like, you know, it's okay to come out of your shell, buddy. Like, come on out. Show everyone that you got your pew pew pew, you know? Like you got this. Come on. I'd let you mess me up.
Okay.
Got this, Nessie.
I can get behind it. And I feel like afterwards you'd like ride it like a horse or something, and you can after the sunset.
Be buddies.
Yeah, like good job.
Drown me in the process.
So you would almost be like the Mr. Miyagi to the Loch Ness Monster. Like
that's the goal. I'm the Mr. Miyagi in my relationship. So.
Yeah. You know, I like it. I feel like you would just take these cryptids under your wings. That's great.
Absolutely. Come on, guys.
All right. So my number 2 is Bigfoot, and I put /Yeti. And the reason behind that, I know some people might say there's a difference between it, and I guess the Yeti is more of like the abominable snowman, or not the snowman, or wait, what?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So
I
kind of
like associated it with.
Yeah, so kind of like the white fur sort of thing. But like, really, I guess if you don't like the difference, I'm just gonna say Bigfoot. But really, you know what? Now that I was just teasing you about saying it should be the ones that should mess us up, not pals. My literal statement on here in my notes, I put Bigfoot /Yeti. mainly because I love the opportunity to meet and hang out. Is literally my is literally my notes on here. That was my reasoning behind it. So I guess I was just kind of like tease me for your number two, and then my literal reason is that I want to actually get to meet Bigfoot. So
I understand. That was my reasoning behind Nessie, and then I was like, but I let it beat me up. It needs to come out of its shell.
yeah. So I think for Bigfoot is that like, yes, I definitely think it could mess me up because he's Bigfoot, but also I think like I let him mess me up because I think I want to prove that he's real, sort of thing, and to hang out with him. So
absolutely, absolutely. I am looking forward to this number one. Let me tell you what. I don't think anyone has heard of this, and I am very much looking forward to introducing everyone.
oh,
It is
good.
the Funeral Mountain Terrashot.
Wow.
When I tell you that this baby is just a walking rectangle with legs, am not kidding. It is a walking rectangle cube with legs, and it is a fearsome critter from the lumberjack folklore of North America in the 19th and 20th century. It's like a cascade shaped like shell, which is like 6 to 8 feet in length, with long wobbly legs, which like cause the parachute to sway uncertainly from like side to side and forward and backward. But here's the best part, okay? Here's why I let it mess me up. Number one, it absolutely could. It's a giant freaking rectangle. Number two, the way it messes me up, I just breathe in like the air that it's breathing and I turn into it.
Oh.
That's how it messes me up. I literally become it just by being around it. And it's a herbivore. So it's like, I'm not going to hurt anything in the process. I'm just eating some noms, like chewing on some grass, but it's definitely going to mess me up, and that I'm no longer a human. And I'm like, hey, that's the like most vegan way of going out. So like, let's do it.
So like, basically, I'm trying to figure out this. So does it like get bigger by like forming other people's energy into itself? Is it basically like it started out small, then it kind of absorbs people and transforms it into itself and gets bigger because of that?
So what it's saying, so in Fearsome Creatures 2015, the Funeral Mountain Shark is a six-legged fungoid, part fungus and part animal, with horns and a herbivorous diet. The spores are deadly, and if inhaled, a human will turn into one.
Oh, so they turn into a separate one, not like turn
Correct.
into like, because I was imagining like it gets bigger and bigger and like it like absorbs whatever it comes into contact with.
I figured reading it would probably explain it better than what anything I could say. So
okay, that's fine. All right, awesome, love it. It's very like that is kind of creepy that it would just totally, just by coming into contact with it, you would just turn into it. So I think that's very kind of
that's spoopy. I'm here for it.
Is this spoopy?
Spoopy. Spoopin.
Spoopin. All right. So I think just if you listen to our first episode, you probably already have a hint of what my number one's going to be. And my number one's going to be Mothman.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I just don't know what it is about Mothman. I think it's the fact that it has those beady red eyes, which, like, you know, if you watch any horror film, what do you see? Those creepy red eyes staring at you. Like that's such a like a horror trope. The fact that it can fly, but also it presents as like a man of sorts. The fact that it can fly really fast, over like as fast as the car. The fact that it's in West Virginia, that's scary too. West Virginia is not exactly a fun place.
Spoopy.
Yes, it's spoopy. I mean, if you've been through West Virginia, if you've been through anywhere in the Midwest or the I guess West Virginia is not Midwest, but if you've been through places like that, it's all mountains. That's creepy enough. You don't need a half man, half moth, red-eyed person flying by your car.
Nope. No, thank you.
Yeah, and plus I don't know if anyone's watched this, but the Mothman Prophecies, I remember watching that movie and I really loved it. Which is like 20 years old now, probably at this point. So I like that. I like that movie. And I think that's what kind of sparked my interest in Mothman. So that's all I got about that.
Mothman, I was like, I wouldn't want to be messed up by him. Like, I feel like he'd do some damage. I feel like he would like torture me before actually like letting me die. Like, he was not close to my list. I'm like, I want to meet him. If it was like a top 5 cryptids I would want to meet, sure, but like I don't want him to mess me up. Leave me alone.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't really know offhand if he even has like powers to mess people up. I don't know if he's
I just assume that he'd like put me in a chokehold and like start flying up and then slam me to the ground. Like,
yeah, which is like, I think, yeah, use your imagination with Mothman. That's enough. Your imagination is enough to scare you with him. So
no, thank you. What were there other honorable mentions for you? I think that the ones I had were on your list, actually.
Yeah, really it was just Nessie, and mainly because I didn't put her on because I just thought she'd be too gentle to hurt anybody. So
sweet little baby.
Yeah.
That's why we gotta be friends and show her how to throw a punch.
Yeah, so Mr. Miyagi, that stuff.
Well, thank you all for listening to Hot Takes Cool Updates. If you would like to connect with us, please, you can email us at hottakescoolupdates@gmail.com. And yes, I again am saying it slow with the hopes that you will email us. We'd be glad to hear your thoughts on the topic we discussed or your suggestions on what to talk about next. You can also find us now on YouTube and TikTok for clips, shorts, and potential content. If you'd like to support your favorite entertainment podcast, go and find us on Patreon and receive a bunch of exclusive perks.
Exclusive perks. Sorry.
We'll catch you next week.
Bye.